Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community, Oceania Hoon Dok Hae. Today is Unsheel, and we're together with Reverend Kenji Watanabe. Today is Saturday, the 7th of May, or the 7th of April in the 10th year of Chonglukuk. Let's begin, as always, with a bow to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. Chariot, Kyombe, Haru. And let's recite our family pledge in Korean and English. Thank you.
가전맨세 2. 천일국 주인 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 선자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 2. Our family, the owner of Chonglukuk, pledges to represent, become central to heaven and earth by attending the Heavenly Parent and true parents. We pledge to perfect the dutiful family way of filial sons and daughters in our family, patriots in our nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters in heaven and on earth by centering on true love. I'd like to ask Na if she could offer the opening prayer, please.
Good morning, our dearest Heavenly Parents and beloved true parents of heaven and earth and humankind. Thank you. We could greet you this morning and greet one another and welcome you into our midst so that we may feel your presence, your love, your understanding, your wisdom. And pray, Father, that you can speak through each and every one of us and today, and also through our Kenji Watanabe message today. And I really pray for each brother and sister and blessed families and for our unity, and Father, to keep in mind our true mothers' wishes, and also for Korea. We pray, Father, that we claim this day for you, Father, and everything back to you, Father, creation and all situations, that we may restore and return back to you. In true parents' most beloved names, I offer this prayer and report to you. Aju.
Thank you. Thank you. And let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Kenji as he shares with us this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, the brothers and sisters of the Oceania, centering on Reverend Hitaka Yamada, and happy Unsheel today. And thank you very much for the giving me opportunity to share the time together with the true parents world. Today's Hoon Dok reading is centering on the course of life for the princes and the princesses of God. Actually, have you ever imagined that we are all the sons and daughters of God, and even princes and the princesses of God? The Heavenly Parent, true parents, really wanting us to become the princes and the princesses of God, who are supposed to fulfill our responsibility. This speech was given on 8th of March, year 2000, at the Moppo Indoor Stadium in Korea, at the on the occasion of the true parents, the 80th birthday celebration and the North and South unification rallies. The topics in this presentation is that let's like to briefly share the mission of the tribal Messiah, the quote, getting quote from the true parents, and then share the excerpt of the speech, which was given in year 2000. Subtitle is Our First Destination on Earth and the Path for the God's True Sons and Daughters. And then my inspiration, I received in these days, especially after participating the celebration and special education in Korea, which is offering a nation. Here we go. The introduction. So as I mentioned, this time we were privileged to be able to participate in the 62nd anniversary of the True Parents Holy Wedding and Heavenly Parents Day, True Parents Day, and Cosmic Blessing 2022, and Cheongil-guk Global Leader, Special Education in the Cheongsong Condition. And yeah, anyway, our leaders already share their schedule and all that. And through Mother really want us to purify ourselves before celebrating the establishment of the Cheongwon-gun. So basically 3 points through Mother emphasizes in the meeting and occasions. So we must strive to purify ourselves and become a clear crystal in preparation for the opening of Cheongwon-gun, and emphasizing on the importance of the time. Actually, we are living in the golden age, and this period of time with the True Mother is never ever repeated. So and our life is the not too long, rather short, and how we can dedicate ourselves to God's providence for today. And also emphasizing the importance of the witnessing. So so based upon those emphasizing points, I just prepared a presentation today, centering on the parents' word. Now, let me share the mission of the Tribal Messiah based upon True Parents' word. Let me read. So blessed families are formed on the basis of absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. Thus, they possess heaven's right of the ownership and are able to embrace all heaven's nations and the world. I went to the heavenly realm and restored the lineage with the heart of absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. I fulfilled the change of the absolute lineage, the change of the realm of absolute ownership, and the change of the realm of absolute heart. So I recovered them all when tribal messiahs fulfilled the change of absolute lineage, the change of the realm of absolute ownership, and the change of the realm of absolute heart in numerous tribes. The nation will automatically be saved. That is the end of everything, and everything will be made clean and clear. So all these results hinge on your confidence in carrying out tribal messiahship. So you have to work with the confidence that success will come through your activities carried out with energy. Please realize that you are the sons and daughters of true parents who can gather up the entire world of their victory and claim on their behalf ownership over all that for which they have paid the price. So this is a national restoration that tribal messiahs need to fulfill. And once you gather the entire world, you will offer it to two parents, which was given in 1995. So through Mother emphasizing this time the witnessing. After all, we need to have a citizen of Cheonggyeok. Without the people, just like the nothing inside of the museum, and so we really need to increase the citizen of Cheonggyeok. Some people might think that the witnessing was emphasized, and probably traditional witnessing way is a way to achieve the goal. Of course, the old method have to be utilized, but we really need to have a concept of the national restoration, whatever we do, especially purpose of tribal messiahship is to really restore the nation, God's sovereignty. Without God's sovereignty, no guarantee for the protection. Anytime Satan can invade, as they got the nation. So we have to have a nation. So except from now that I share is coming from the speech that I they mentioned in the very beginning, which was given the 8th of the March 2003. No, 2000. So subtitle is Our First Destination on Earth. The liberation we have today, Korea's liberation from Japan, is the first liberation. Now in the Unification Church, we need a second liberation. The Republic of Korea also needs a second liberation. The people and the nation will not achieve their full desire unless Republic of Korea undergoes the second liberation. After that, the Unification Church will need a third liberation. That is how things will go. The Republic of Korea established its current national pattern through the first liberation. So at this time, it requires a second liberation, which is the reunification of North and South. So very interesting the words that the father gave at the time. So second liberation seems obviously that the reunification of North and South Korea for Korea. And for the Unification Church, Father said us also need a second liberation, and eventually need to have a third liberation. So this is the diagram that President Hori presented before, as through Mother inaugurated Heavenly Parents Holy Community as third stage since our movement started from the Unification Church, and they shifted to a Family Federation and HPHC now. So with this understanding, so we have been already reaching the kind of third revelation as Father they indicated in the speech. Anyhow, really appreciate True Mother. She's the advancing the providence based upon the true Father's word. Now let me continue the part. And the Father emphasizing the unificationism, or in other words, unification thought, which is being advocated by the Unification Church, was prepared for this very time. Now we are in the position to do two things. So we have to form one nation that surpasses every other nation of the world. And we have to embody a single faith, so indomitable that it surpasses every other religion in the world. That's the declaration, isn't it? Interestingly, this time, our leaders received the huge number of the printed books, such as the Theory of Heavenly Unified Korea, and True Parents Thought, and Essential of Unification Thought, and Headwind Thought. So those the teachings are widely spread in Korea this time to prepare for reunification of North and South Korea. So somehow feel that year 2000 and this time got the kind of similar desperation that we have to have. We continue. North and South need to be one nation centered on this teaching. So without doing that, God's nation, namely sovereignty of the heavenly nation that we can proudly proclaim to the world, will not be born. So you have to understand that this purpose is our priority on earth today. So in this light, yeah, we understand the despite the heart of the true mother and true parents. So since the election of the Korean president, seems they went well, and now new president is trying to restore the relationship with the Japan and the United States, which is the aligned with the what true parents and our movement they always advocating. So it brings a lot of hope. But in order to achieve the goal that true father share at the time, still many things to be done. Let me continue reading. If we cannot establish this nation as the original homeland, so we will not be able, will not be a nation that can center on God and surpass the nations of Satan's world. So without such a nation, we cannot chastise the evil nations of the world, so we cannot be free of their influence. To do that, so we need more than just a religion, more than just the unification church. So we need a unified nation whose direction is centered on unificationism. So we need to establish it and then move forward. This issue remains to be resolved. So from this point of view, the unification church will be like Judaism. In that thought, of the Unification Church will become the mainstream thought of Korea, just as Judaism was the spiritual pillar on that nation of Israel. In the future, there will be a time when unificationism will undergird the spiritual communities of our nation. So, this speech indicates very significant things, and Heavenly Parents Holy Community was somehow predicted already in Parents' speech in year 2000. Also, Father said that the Unification Church has to be a kind of state religion. Well, that's simply thinking that almost it's impossible if we use the just Unification Church or limited understanding as a church. Definitely, we need to have a broader platform, which is the Heavenly Parents Holy Community, which they share the universal principle, philosophy of the interdependence, mutual prosperity, universal shared values. I was really amazed by the parents' word, which was given in year 2000. So anyway, this is the diagram that Dr. Yoon gave us before. How we trying to establish the Cheongil-guk. The Family Federation FFWPU correspond to mind as the perfected human being, and UPF correspond to the body of the human being. And then making the unity, then from establishment of the Cheongil-guk comes to possible. So this is the image of the formation of the regional union. This is not the official, that's the my analysis, how to establish the foundation of the Cheongil-guk in our region based upon the union system. So just I'd like to share some thought, my thought. So in our region, PCLC, which was the inaugurated and the developing in cooperation with the APLC, WCLC, which is the absolutely needed to create the core foundation of the Oceania Union, as this region is dominated by the Judeo-Christian ethics and tradition. And in order to create the union of Oceania or Asia-Pacific Union as an extension, so we also have to look at the peace and the security in our region. And I was inspired by the initiative in UPF International, as they also organizing the Peace and the Security Forum in the East Asia and also the Middle East. And now governments in the Pacific Island comes to be aware that the importance of security together as a region, and formation of the Peace and Security Forum Oceania initiated by UPF is very much necessary in cooperation with the Pacific Island Forum. In that way, we can create the foundation for the Oceania Union, which is going to lead the Asia Pacific Union. By the way, I would like to briefly share what's the Pacific Island Forum. Actually, quite amazing institution, which was established in 1971. Pacific Island Forum is the region's premier political and economic policy organization. Founded in 1971, it comprises the 18 members: Australia, Cook Islands, Federated States of Micronesia, Fiji, French Polynesia, Kiribati, Nauru, New Caledonia, New Zealand, Niue, Palau, Papua New Guinea, Republic of Marshall Islands, Samoa, Solomon Islands, Tonga, Tuvalu, and Vanuatu. Headquarters of the Pacific Island Nation is located in the Suva, actually very close to our peace embassy. Actually, already the framework of the Oceania Union was established in the secular society. But the question is that they are functioning well or not. And as you know, that the split of the the CCP in the Pacific Island Nation comes to more obvious, but they haven't got the any consensus among the nations yet. And Australia and New Zealand, as members of Pacific Island Forum, need to get involved more actively to raise the issues that Pacific Island nations are facing today. And this one is the another presentation I picked up from the Pacific Christian Leadership Conference. This is an interesting fact. I think many of you already know, but yeah, just this is a good reminder. We are in a very unique position in this region. Except the New Zealand, most of the countries are over than 50% the Christians. And yeah, several countries are over than 90% of the whole population are Christians. Very unique and prepared region, isn't it? So this is just some samples. So Samoa, the Reverend City here, very Christian nation. Samoa's constitution of 1962 was an amendment to 2013. It says that whereas the leaders of Samoa have declared that Samoa should be an independent state based on Christian principles and the Samoan custom and tradition. And how about the other countries, such as Vanuatu? Constitution of the Republic of Vanuatu hereby proclaimed the establishment of a united and free Republic of Vanuatu founded on traditional Melanesian values, faith in God and the Christian principles. And Papua New Guinea saying that we, the people of Papua New Guinea, pledge ourselves to God and pass on to those who come after us our noble traditions and the Christian principles that are ours now. And the Solomon Islands. And we, the communities and the peoples of Solomon Islands, respectful of our traditions, placing God and Christian principles, to adopt this constitution as the foundation of law and government in our nation. So, and the other Pacific Island nations always put the God as the priority in constitution. So comparing to other region, our region is very unique and well prepared to make a model of the unified world. That's why Father prophesied in 1992, unified world begins from Oceania. It's very, very true by utilizing the right platform to create the momentum for the formation of the union. That's the what we are supposed to develop in our region. And the reason why I just share those points is that anyway, PCLC, which was the initiated by our regional headquarters, Asia Pacific Region 2, centering on the President Hori, has to play very, very crucial role. And also the engaging with the Pacific Islands Forum, that's a way to establish the framework of the Oceania Union, also very important. And let's have a look at the Father's words again under the subtitle of the path for God's true sons and daughters in the speech. At this time, when we are short of people, do you have to think about who is going to be responsible for Jeonju up in north? So just note that Jeonju is the place where True Father come from. And the literal meaning of Jeonju is that a settlement of the state, as far as I interpret. Anyway, Jeonju is the place where True Father was born. Are you willing to invest all your effort and prepare for 10 or 20 years so that you will be able to take responsibility for the Jeonju area? If you cannot accomplish it, then when you die, you need to instruct your descendants to study hard, train hard, prepare hard, take responsibility to represent heaven in Jeonju. That is what I have been thinking about and preparing for up to this day. So Jeonju is obviously located in North Korea. So, which means that through father, through parents, was really wanting to make the unification of North and South Korea in his lifetime, hopefully. But if not, then through parents wanted our children and descendants to accomplish. That's the heart of the true father and also true mother. So desperately wanting to bring the unification of North and South Korea and a nation that God can govern. The same heart that we really need to have this time. So then I shared this contents with our New Zealand members time to time. I think, and some of you know about the Jigido. That's small the islets located near the Jeju Island, which is the whole place as the holy ground, as true parents invested so lot. Let me read here. Near Jeju Island, there is a tiny islet called a Jigido. The Chinese characters for Jigido means the island for returning to the earth. When I saw Jigido, I thought, wow, restoration can start right here. So I bought that islet. It now belongs to us. So we got the opportunity to visit the small islet of the called the Jegido in 2019, and really felt Father's desperate heart to restore the nation, which is still really vivid memory I have. So by the way, photo that here is that through Father and Georgian. Very, very lovely photo, isn't it? Going towards the Jegido, thinking of the restoration of the world, restoration of the nation. So this is the Jegido. So we are owner of the small island as well. And this was the photo taken 2015. Anyway, nobody living there. And the only small hut that through Father created still remain. But when we visited, actually, it was sad to see that the hut was not really cared well. So through parents said that, through Father said that some people already know that the Jegido can become a premier fishing spot. So we can attract many people to Jegido. So Father is thinking of the future. So he said in the speech that if he couldn't accomplish the reunification North and South Korea 20 and 30 years of time, then need to pass on such responsibility to the children. In fact, I think through parents really thinking of the literally Cheongil-guk with original standard, well, probably thinking of the little bit longer, I don't know how many years later. One time Father said that 7 generations we need for in other words, 210 years or 300 years. Anyhow, so we have to fulfill our portion of responsibility by this a certain period of time, but also we have to think and prepare, thinking of the couple of hundred years. In that way, our foundation going to be solidified for eternal Cheongil-guk. Actually, that islet was the place where first the world peace tourism fishing tournament was held. That's the actual beginning of the world fishing tournament, as far as I understand. And probably just go off the main topic. However, I just like to advertise using this opportunity. This photo shows that the 4th Fishing World Cup, and really appreciate the Australian brothers and sisters who made possible and successful for the World Fishing World Cup. And recently we signed on the official contract or agreement with the President Yoon of the World Fishing Federation. World Sports Fishing Federation that New Zealand was officially selected to hold, I think, six fishing six fishing World Cup tournament race. So which is going to be held in 2024. And please put the date as March 2024. That's the period of time that we are going to hold. So please put the date in your diary to prepare to come over here. Anyway, let me conclude. To prepare for the next year, 5th of May, 2023, as True Mother gonna open officially Chongwon-gun and also the Chonggil Sanctum. I think the Chongwon-gun consists of the two parts. One is the Holy of Holies, which is well, according to this explanation, Holy of Holies is a Chongjong-gun, which was already established. And Holy is the Chongwon-gun. And Chongwon-gun got the part to attend Heavenly Parents as a substance, which is called the Chonggil Sanctum. So which means that Chongwon-gun has the Chonggil Sanctum, where we attend Heavenly Parents in substantial form. And also it's gonna become the world governance body. In other words, World Parliament function gonna be put in that building. And state religion must be Heavenly Parents Holy Community. And members, Chombo citizens. That's the definition of the Chonggil-guk. So that's we are trying to establish, and the date for the inauguration is set on 5th of May. So less than 1 year, we're gonna see such opportunity, and let us fulfill our portion of responsibility, especially as a members of Oceania who got a special role. And yeah, I also trying to find a way to offer a nation with a disparate heart that true father, true parents has. And possibility is we see in the Cook Island and the Niue. Anyhow, we work together as a team of Oceania is the essential to create momentum that the all Pacific Island nations to get together to create the Oceania Union as a model of the Chonggil-guk nation. And couple of 100 years later, this region gonna be a place where rest of the world really want to come as the new civilization centering of God well developed in the underwater city gonna be real. So that's my vision overall. That I wanted to share this morning. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Reverend Kenji, for sharing so much detail and yeah, really bringing together all the different things that True Mother has been sharing with us. Wow, there's a lot of content there, a lot of images, and a lot of thoughts, and I was reflecting when you're speaking there about what is our main responsibility in this time, and it probably has never really changed ever since we joined, and that is, we are building Chongyalguk. We are building the kingdom of heaven on earth, and the only way that we can do that is to witness, to explain to others that there is God in their life, and that Mother has already explained to us we need to let everyone know about heavenly parents, true parents, and the blessing. And it's through the blessing that we actually create the environment for Chongyalguk. And we know that Providence has moved on, and in the beginning there was a lot of indemnity paid by the early members and our true parents, and now we're in the time after the kingdom of heaven. There was the time before, and now we're after it, and now we're heading towards Chongyalguk. And the more that we have that alignment, no shadow, that we're connected with God and true parents 100%, and that we really focus on bringing about Chongyalguk, then we have to establish success in witnessing, because we to get Chongyalguk, as we know, to build the kingdom of heaven, we need land, we need people, we need sovereignty, and the land more and more has to be a unified Korea before the rest of the world can be truly united. And Chongyalguk citizens have to be the citizens of that nation, and that comes about by us witnessing to help people recognize that we need to change our blood lineage through the blessing, and that's how we become Chongyalguk citizens. And then we have sovereignty, which has already been written, which is the Constitution. And as we know, at that time, the 5th of May 2023, when it's all begins and the sanctum is opened, also at that time, the Constitution that's been updated 3 times will be applied, will actually be the system by which we will be running our movement. So I was just reflecting those sort of things when Reverend Kenji was sharing with us. We don't have much time left, but for those who have a comment, please go ahead. Thank you, everyone. Go ahead, Mr. Wright.
Good morning. Thank you, Reverend Kenji, and such a cover all of Providence. I think I think surely like a movement can be same as Judaism and also Israel or Christianity in the world, and but I think Judaism or Christianity is a sacrifice a lot. I think it is incredible. That's why just not easy to not only expect. I think we have everyone's incredible portion responsibility. But anyway, thank you for, I think, prepare for 2024 fishing tournament, and we had a really good one. Team, Chris, and everyone supported fourth one. So I think sixth, I think fifth one is, I think, in Spain. and so James attended, Paul ship attended, then caught a very small fish. And it is incredible, small fish. But I think New Zealand is one of the best fishing area in the world. So incredible preparation and prayer for the Watanabe all over different bio and brother sisters. So we prepare for that, and thank you for your heart. Anyway, thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Rai. Thank you. Go ahead, Margaret.
Thank you, Reverend Kenji. Two thoughts that came from your presentation is one, in 1975, there was a creation of IOWC, International World Crusade, and many members from Europe and America went to Japan and Korea. Since then, I've been waiting and thinking, you know, is our movement going to go to Korea and help Korea? So this is just a thought. Asia Pacific to or Oceania, perhaps we can create a plan where our region can go to Korea, especially in Sorak area, for a pilgrimage as well as outreach. Just a thought. And number two, you spoke of PIF, Pacific Island Forum. I have been following that. And it triggered the memory in the Marshall Islands in 2000 when True Father mentioned that in order to unite the Pacific, then Australia, all the states in Australia do a lottery, write all the names of the island nations and do a lottery from all the states. And that way, that each state can take care of that island. That was 2000. It was under Reverend Song at the time. And I was really excited thinking that if that happened, then we would have a relationship with the state in Australia and develop dialogue and report what's going on in the islands for that particular state to have a give and take. Just another thought that if we want to be engaged with a Pacific Island Forum, particularly Australia and New Zealand, it would be good to be engaged. Recently, Pacific Island Forum, the Micronesian group seceded, stepped out of the forum. I don't know if you know, but later I can discuss it with you, Reverend Kenji, about that. But I think if we want Korea to be united, it's good to be invested in doing outreach in Korea as well as a region. Usually, our members are suffering from the accusation of the past in Korea, but if foreigners come, like the IOWC at the time, people listen to the foreigners. And if it's true that Oceania has a Christian foundation, we can challenge the Christians in Korea as well. Just a thought.
Yeah, thank you, Margaret. Yeah, got some good thoughts there. Yeah. Was that your hand up there, Jacinta? No.
No, I just thought it was a really good idea. And I must say that back in 2000, I was one of the women that was at that registration workshop, and we went to, we were all given a town to go to. And I went down to Wando Island, which is near Jeju, but it's a bit further away. And they had a land for sale there and everything. So I was going to buy a piece of land there, and for the future, it would have been quite cheap at the time as well. So I came back really full of ideas, and I wanted to move our family over to Korea and everything. And then Reverend Kim just said, no, you can't do that. But anyway, you know, he said Oceania is the most important region at the moment. You know, you've got to focus on Oceania. So yeah, but you know, if we did go over there, we would have to be really full of high spirit, I think, to be able to win over or support somehow the Christian or the members in Korea, because Koreans are so strong in their own way that they're like, you know, it will be a bit of a battle, I would say. But anyway, I'm up for a challenge.
That's great. Thanks, Jessica. Thanks, everyone. Actually, it's time now for us to offer our unison prayers. So I'll just share the screen and let's pray together. Arju, Arju, Arju. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Reverend Kenji. Have a great day. See you all.
Thank you.
Reverend Kenji today.
Good day.
Very much.
Reverend Kenji.
どうもね、ありがとうございました。
Mr. Rai, morning.
Morning! Yeah, nice to see you.
Yeah.
Always, yeah.
Anytime I like to contact Masahiro.
Okay.
Or maybe you can number.
I send you later, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Bye-bye all.
Bye, Bob.